I'm single, I'm broke, so naturally, I went to Hawaii. Whoa, 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 hold on a second. You just said that you're broke. How did you go to Hawaii? Oh, right, I should explain. Pop in here and explain just a few things. Before people start asking, how did you afford this trip? Hawaii is expensive. I wanted to break it down just a little bit for some context. The way that this trip kind of started was that flights to Hawaii from Phoenix were really cheap, like $200 cheap. Second of all, I had a lot of miles from a travel credit card that have just been sitting there, and I thought, what is the most expensive place in the US that I can fly to? And obviously Hawaii is usually very expensive. So the round trip ticket using my miles cost me a whopping $32. So $32 and like 40,000 miles, and I still have some miles left over too. In addition to the flight, I also paid for a rental car, which cost me about $380 total. I did not get the insurance. I normally don't. I did pay, I think I went through maybe like 1 tank of gas. I don't think I only ended up filling up once on the whole island, which is crazy. So if you wanted to get some kind of hybrid, highly recommend. Other than that, for food, I tried to stay really minimal on the food, except for a couple places where I wanted to just try the local cuisine. But one thing that I did that I think is so smart of me is that before I even got on the plane, I had filled up my Target cart with everything that I needed and put the location as the Kahului Target in Maui, so that by the time I landed, I could just hit order as soon as I got service, and everything was ready by the time that I picked up the rental car, and I just bopped over, grabbed all my supplies, and I went out. I got bagels, peanut butter, tuna, things that are shelf stable that I don't need a fridge for because obviously I don't have access to a fridge. So just think camping food. I also got 2 or 3 jugs of water just to have fresh water on hand, and those just stayed in the car the whole time. I hope that helps anyone that might be trying to figure out the finance side of things, because I definitely am very money conscious and frugal. So those are my tips for that. Otherwise, I packed everything that I needed in one big old checked bag, and this is just your standard checked bag size. Everything I needed, the camping stuff, all my clothes, my supplies, all fit in here, and I was very pleasantly surprised that it was all under the 50-pound weight limit. Honestly, the most important things that I brought was this little mini travel fan or camping fan. I highly recommend bringing some kind of sarong, like a cover-up. This is great for keeping the sun off you if you got burnt like I did. Also, I lived in my Tevas. Other than hiking, these are the only shoes that I wore the entire time. After getting off the plane and getting my rental car, I started out my journey by taking the famous road to Hana. I knew that this was going to be a rather dicey road to drive on, and it was. There were some sharp twists and blind turns, single-lane bridges, and at first it was really nerve-wracking, but eventually I got desensitized to it and took it like a champ. It was one of the most beautiful drives I've ever done. One thing to know about this trip is that I took it in May, which is the off season, so driving this during peak season, there would be a lot more traffic, and it would take you a lot longer to get anywhere. I was on that road for about 2 hours until I got to Waianapanapa State Park, where I settled into my first campsite. The permit for this park was $30 for one night, and it covered parking, camping, and park entrance. There were only 2 other tents, so we all had lots of room to spread out in the designated campground. There was a shower and bathrooms right there, which was really handy, and the park did close at sunset, so I didn't want to risk getting in trouble by sneaking around, so I just hung up by my campsite for the night. In the morning, I woke up for park open at 7 a.m., walked down to the black sand beach, and took a casual morning swim in the ocean as the sun came up. I was the only one there for about 10 minutes before a few other people showed up, but it didn't end up being very busy. Then I packed up my tent and drove 45 minutes to Kipihulu campground. I was also told to get some shaved ice, so I did that, and it was fine. There's lots of shaved ice all around the island. I have an America the Beautiful pass, so all I paid was the $8 a night camping fee. This was one of the most beautiful campgrounds I've ever seen, and I was the only one there for pretty much the entire time. Because it was still early in the day, I decided to keep exploring before settling in for the night. So I backtracked to Hamoa Beach, did a little bit of beach time. This beach was absolutely beautiful, and it was all street parking here, so luckily I did find a spot. After some beach time, I needed some dinner, so I got a quesadilla from a food truck in Hana town, where I quickly learned how expensive food here is. So my partner just tapped, but I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it the 21 days. I'm gonna start on my shelter, sun setting, and then once I get that up, I need to get some water because I've already been out here for hours. I just caught this, my bare hands.
You're a lonely sailor, and your soul is made of wind and rain, doubts and blame.
There's a sea turtle right off of my campsite.
Made of dust and grain, and spoil champagne. I've got troubles, I've got sins, I'm my worst enemy, but I've still got a lot to give. So I said, hey, don't you wanna come and run away with me? Hey, won't you come, won't you come?
The next morning, I woke up for one of the most beautiful sunrises, packed up, and went to a trailhead to do a bamboo and waterfall hike. I was the only one in the parking lot. I got there at 6 a.m. and I was the only one there on the trail for the entire time. I did see one other solo female hiker, which was cool, and not gonna lie, it was a little spooky at times, being alone in the middle of this jungle. The hike was a 4-mile round trip and pretty easy, although it was very muddy and very slippery. If you think you're not going to get wet, you will. I crossed both ways without getting my shoes wet, and then I hit that rock, and then I slipped. Ah. After the hike, I was back on the road where I sort of accidentally stumbled upon another waterfall. It was freezing, but so fun to swim and rinse off and have a little bath, honestly. Time for a shower. I was about to leave and thought, no, I'm gonna give it another minute. And then this local tour guide comes in and jumps off the top of the waterfall. He asks me and the lady he's with if we want to do it with him. So naturally I said, okay, and he showed us how to climb up to the top of the waterfall and told us that once you get to the top, don't hesitate, just jump, otherwise you'll chicken out. And he was right, and it was terrifying. Also, this was a 22-foot waterfall, for those wondering. After my death-defying stunt, I was famished, so I found great pad thai at a food truck called Thai Farm Fresh. There was lots of outdoor seating with shade. I set up my next campsite at this new beach, and this is the only part that I was really nervous for because this beach was right off of a busy road and I didn't have any permits. And I didn't want to get a ticket or, murdered, but it ended up being just fine and I felt very safe, and this is actually where I spent my next 3 nights. On day 4, I woke up really early to do my first snorkeling excursion. I hopped on a catamaran and we went out to Molokini Crater. But my GoPro had died and I didn't get any underwater footage here, which I was really bummed about, but it's fine. I did not reapply enough sunblock and I did get a bit burnt, so I laid in the shade, and this is where that sarong came in handy. Then I wanted to go to a restaurant that had ocean views. I did not want to be inside anywhere, so I ended up finding this place called Fred's Mexican Cafe and was very surprised by how good it was. I actually went back the next day and got the exact same thing, the chicken tacos. Yes, it did come with complimentary chips and salsa. After dinner, I went back to my same campsite, set up my hammock for a bit, and watched the sunset. Day 5 was another snorkeling excursion that I woke up early for. I will show you the GoPro footage at the end, but on the way back I had my little blue cocktail and was just so happy to be on the water, and I had canes on the beach for dinner. On my last day before catching my flight, I explored this cute little town called Paia. I checked out some stores, bought some souvenirs, and ate some avocado toast at this place called Choice Health Bar. The toast was really good, but the juice was just okay and overpriced. I had seen the sunflower field location, but did not think that it would actually be in bloom, so that was such a special surprise. I was actually very surprised that the only place I had to pay for parking the whole time on the island was at the Ocean Center, where I met for snorkeling. This is what most of my showers looked like, and washed my hair and just made sure I was clean before getting on the plane and sitting next to somebody. Overall, I learned a lot on this trip. I learned that I'm very capable and that I enjoy my company. Was I the only solo person on my excursions? Yes. Did I feel weird eating alone? Not really. I'm sure this would be fun to do with somebody else, but by solo traveling, you have no one else's schedule except your own. And it's so fun to have complete freedom and flexibility. So my advice is don't wait until you have enough money or have a partner or have the perfect bikini body. If you wait for the perfect time to go, you'll never go. I will leave you with the snorkeling footage, and I hope you enjoy this little trip to Hawaii. Respect the land, respect the indigenous people that live there, and if you feel like supporting my channel, liking and subscribing is the best way to do that. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Hard working every day, I'm stressed out 24/7, babe. No timeouts, wish we could fly away. You and I go to our favorite place. Oh yeah, make special memories together. I'll be your company now and forever. I say we fly away, you and me, go to our favorite place. Feeling the sun on my face and